Hello, music friends. Today we are going to do the standard internet tier list for some of my favorite and some not so favorite composers. So let's start with the big three. Johann Sebastian Bach, probably the most famous Baroque composer and one of the most famous composers of all time. His violin sonatas and his concertos, Brandenburg concertos, are all very famous. Works for organ, harpsichord. And so I think we're probably going to put him, let's go ahead and put him at the top for now. However, I can't stand playing some of his triple stops, quadruple stops. So I may move him down later. We'll see. All right, let's go with Mozart. He would win for being one of the most famous composers, but also probably one of the most famous playboys in musical history. So for his compositions, we'll go ahead and give him an A, but we'll bring him down from the S because of his somewhat lousy personal life, although I do feel badly he died so young. And Beethoven. I know it's cliche to say this, but I have to say he's one of my favorite composers of all time. I love the Romantic time period. Sorry, Bach, I'm not quite as partial to the Baroque, but that's just my personal preference. And it really is true that Beethoven created a complex for the composers who followed him because he had created such wonderful masterpiece with his Ninth Symphony that embodied orchestra with the choir and the famous Ode to Joy. So we're going to go ahead and put him at the top. And the fact that he did a lot of his works while deaf just kind of makes him out of this world. All right, let's move on to, John Williams. So many good ones. The best film composer of all time. Ooh. Apparently, I'm going to have to move some of these guys down, but it's hard to not put the person who wrote music for Harry Potter and Star Wars really high. Now, I have a personal preference for French music, so I picked Lili Boulanger, who's a pretty esoteric composer. She was at the end of the 19th, early 20th century, and she died really young. Her sister, Nadia Boulanger, was the pedagogue for many of the 20th century composers, including Aaron Copland, but some people claimed that Lili was actually the sister with more innate compositional talent, which she didn't fully get to realize because of her early death. So we'll give her a B right here. All right. Another famous French composer, Chevalier de Saint-Georges. He actually was also called Joseph Bologne, and he was born in Guadeloupe to a white father, and his wife's, I guess, servant was his mother. So he was part black, part white, and he actually moved to France with his father, who helped him with his career quite a bit. And he was just literally a jack of all trades. He was a fabulous fencer, an amazing composer and musician, and some people actually said he was better than Mozart, and Mozart was jealous of him. So we're going to actually move Mozart down because Chevalier de Saint-Georges was possibly the more talented composer. So we'll put him right there. And it's cool that he's French. Okay. Clara Schumann. She was one of the earlier female composers, and she was also a wonderful piano teacher and worked a lot with her husband Robert Schumann as well as with Brahms. And she, I guess, was Romantic era, but not quite as famous as some of the others like Nadia Boulanger. We'll go with the C. Not bad. Oh, Claude Debussy again. You're seeing my penchant for French. His arabesques for piano are phenomenal. La Mer, and I love his string quartet. I played that as one of the violinists. We may have to scooch him up here to A for now. All right, I'm going to move around a little bit. John Cage. So 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence or coughing or whatever is going on was pretty innovative in terms of philosophy. Can't say that I love listening to his music, but the philosophical implications of it are definitely fascinating. We'll give him a C. Schoenberg, kind of along the same lines with his 12-tone. He was basically a mathematical genius with his 12-tone system. Again, very interesting to study and kind of like a Sudoku puzzle if you examine his music. But not my favorite to listen to. Sorry, Schoenberg. But I just can't quite handle some of the music to listen. So we're gonna maybe put you down here. It's probably sacrilegious in the music world, but there you go. Ooh, Wagner. Might win the douchebag of the day. He was very talented as a composer, and I loved his concept of combining the arts with his ring cycle, and he really wanted to mesh drama with music, with literature and visual arts. So I love that concept. Obviously, I write short stories and everything combining music and literature, but he also was a very anti-Semitic person and pretty strong racist. So we're going to put you down here. Sorry, Wagner, but you should have treated people a little bit better. Okay. Ooh, Tchaikovsky, possibly the best violin concerto technically ever written. Oh, man. For now, I might have to put him up here at the top. And I love his ballets. Yeah, he might have to go up there for now. Vivaldi with his Four Seasons. I still love spring. I know it sounds cliche to say that, but I love studying the Four Seasons, listening to them. I bought the book for my kids to listen to, where they can press the different little buttons and hear the different movements. So I guess we'll go with a B. Why not? Nicolo Paganini, the rock star of the violin world during the 19th century. But his caprices are probably the hardest songs ever written for violin, or at least arguably so, and I never was quite good enough to play them. And he was a bit of a playboy too, so we might put him down here, even though I realize he was an absolute genius when it came to playing violin. Florence Price. So I hadn't actually studied her much before until a course I took this summer, but she was actually from Arkansas and really drew a lot from American tradition in her works. And I think she was the first minority female composer to have her symphony performed by an orchestra. So we will go ahead and put her right up here, maybe with the C. All right, Kanye West. Who would have thought he would end up on our composers page? But he is brilliant, and he also collaborates with orchestras all the time, especially with his work Gone. So where could we put him? I guess we'll go ahead and put him with the D. So he at least made it onto the charts, even for our composers. All right. And Pachelbel, the one-hit wonder of the Baroque time period. Canon in D. Oh, yes. Well, I did even have that at my wedding, and I've played it at about 500 other weddings, and it's a beautiful song. Maybe a little overplayed, and I feel badly for my cellist, though, so let's maybe put him over here. Should we put him next to Wagner? I feel badly. Maybe we'll put him on E. Again, one-hit wonders. Poor guy. And my favorite composer, Camille Saint-Saëns, is my favorite French composer, and I know he's not quite as famous as Tchaikovsky, and I know that technically Tchaikovsky is more challenging to play, blah, 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 but he's my favorite. So we're going to move Tchaikovsky down a little bit. Who can I move out of the way? I'm going to put Camille Saint-Saëns. I'm trying to remember. I speak French, but usually you would say Camille, but I always hear him in English as Camille, but technically in French you'd say Camille. All right, Tchaikovsky can't stay here at the D, so let's move somebody else. Oh, I do love Vivaldi, but maybe I'll move him down. Tchaikovsky can move up here. John Cage will move you down. All right. And there we go. Not too bad. So I think that all of these people are definitely worth listening to some of their music. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made this list in the first place. So check out their works and let me know your thoughts on a definitely subjective tier list in the comments below. And if you enjoy this type of content, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you next week.